panel. I'm not leaving.
Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Peace. Welcome to the special meeting of the Village Ballston Spot Board of Trustees for October 15th, 2024. Sorry, we're a little slanted right now, I see in the video, but hopefully we'll need it too long anyway. We're a little off center, you know?
Can you fix it in post?
We'll figure that out. Anyway, let us go to, basically, we'll start with public comment on agenda items only. So 3 minutes per speaker. For anybody that wants to speak to that, if you are on Zoom, I will actually put that up right now. Feel free to raise your hand if you're on Zoom wanting to speak. And Liz, why don't you stand up over here, like behind Mary area, and make sure you speak good and loud because the microphone's right there.
Liz Cornwell, 89 High. I'd like to make a comment on the motion E to name the members of the BOA steering committee or revitalized committee. I knew that Gary had applied, and as a member of the historic commission, I was wondering why he wasn't named to the committee, given that the area that the BOA is going to be dealing with has a lot of historic buildings, and the one thing that's very important to almost everybody in this community is maintaining the character, which is the historic character of this village. So I think that was an oversight to not name Gary Stevenson. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, let's go to motions. Can I get a motion that Kurt D. Nolan be appointed as a part-time police officer?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Fandesa?
Second.
I'll give it to Sean. Trustee
Okay.
Raymond, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I never did get a second name from Dave, so we will pass on that one. I will go to C now. I get a motion that Peter Wozniak be appointed a member of Union Fire Company Number 2 in the Ballston Spot Fire Department.
I'll make the motion.
Trustee
I'll second.
Fandesa?
I'll second.
Trustee Baskin, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion that the treasurer be authorized to make an installment payment, that was probably mine, an installment payment in the amount of $15,675.26 on the police department's Dodge Durango?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Fandesa?
I'll second.
Trustee Price-Bush, discussion? This is basically, we need it to be reach them by a certain date, so we're doing it now instead of on the, whatchamacallit.
We're not paying the whole amount at once?
No. This is an existing loan that we're just doing a payment on that has to reach them by the end of the month. So we got to make sure the next meeting would put us in jeopardy not making that date.
Understood.
All right, so what we did was the last meeting, 60,000?
Was
That's
for
a different car.
unrelated, that's
Different
for
truck,
DPW.
yeah.
Different car,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'm going to go to what we'll call F at this point. This was from the email earlier because we got the late information from Labella on best bid. Where are you?
Is this for Wiswall?
Yes, it is.
Right.
So one of those days here. Actually, Carla wrote me the motion. Here we go. I get a motion awarding the bid for general construction contract Wiswall Park sewer replacement in the amount of $109,100, which is $124,100 base bid, less $15,000 contingency. Such contingency line item to be deleted simultaneously with the execution of the contract to BP Excavation LLC as the lowest responsible bidder based on the recommendation of the village's engineer Labella.
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Fandesa.
Second.
Trustee Baskin, discussion.
So first, could we explain the contingency fee? You don't have to build that in?
No, this was based on the opinion of Ruben, that can be eliminated. And also, apparently they have a traffic control scenario, but we're closing Walnut. I guess the only traffic control that really was being imagined was getting safety for pedestrians around the opening of this thing, which could be Jersey barricades, honestly. So I'm not sure what they would be needing to do for $12,000 of protection for that. So they're going to work with them on that. But for now, the worst case scenario would be the 109-100 on the contract.
All right. And just a little history. So there were other studies done on different options for Wiswall, right? There was like a line that was going to go straight, a line that was going to go off on the side and then bend in, I think. And then there was a line that was going to go down a different street.
None of the above. This is replacing just the stone section in place.
So this is the least intrusive, this is like the fourth least option.
So let me tell you that most of the other bids were over $200,000
Right.
just to do this. And this is adding 2 manholes. One of the more costly aspects of this that didn't ding us as much on this bidder is we have to literally keep flow going and basically reroute flow or take it externally during dependency of the work that's being done. And so that's a challenge to do that because of what you're dealing with sewage. So that is one thing that's costly. And so the longer the work, the more work, the longer that process would have to go on, and just keeps the price increasing. So we're trying to basically get access points now to the sewer so we don't have to keep destroying the park every time we need to go do work on it, but we're replacing the most vulnerable section of the sewer, that's the stone piece. The clay seems to be fine in operation currently.
It's amazing it costs $109,000 just for that minimal amount of work.
Is it just to the edge of the park, or is it through Walnut?
It is from, I believe, Walnut is where we're going to put one of the manholes.
Okay.
And then come down from that point. And I think clay takes over halfway into the park somewhere.
Because I think that stone continues on underneath.
Yeah, there's only so much we're going to be able to do.
Right, I mean, that's a whole other ball of wax.
But for now, at least we're doing it so that we don't have to go back underneath this park in the same way ever again on this.
And we're gonna be able to do that this fall?
That's why we're doing it right now. We're time sensitive, and they've processed it to be done this fall by December.
All right.
All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And sorry, it's gonna come out of just general fund balance?
That is going to come out of the Woods Hollow money once it comes in, actually. So the timing is just perfect for that. So.
Okay.
And then we'll have about 250-ish thousand left for the actual work, which is a little higher than what we anticipate overall. I know Jeff had a number that was in the 300s basically, but that was bells, whistles, and not us doing any of the work or anything like that. So.
Right.
And DPW will help us.
And we should also apply for grants, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's looking at that too, but it just, right now, worst case scenario, at least we have the money ready to go. Okay, can I get a motion that the following 9 individuals be appointed to the Village of Ballston Spa's BOA Steering Committee? Shannon Hansen, Matthew Erkeline, Spencer Casey, Stephen Maraglia, Karen Avenarius, Maggie Schlegel, Catherine Tiedemann, George Long, and Philip DeFiglio. In addition, the board approves the use of 2 alternate members, Chris Farrell and Michael McDonald.
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Fandesa.
I'll second.
Trustee Price Bush, discussion.
Do you want to go, Ben, or do you want me to
There
go?
you go, and you'd say something else or something.
Okay. I prepared a statement for this, so I'll just read it. Unfortunately, this process did not follow standard committee selection policy in regard to each board member selecting members individually, and any duplicates would be filled by other applicants. A special motion was passed to do an end around on village policy, which passed along partisan lines, with 3 board members really voting as one. This was further compounded by alternates being chosen by a minority of the board, as shown on the attached sheet to my statement. There was no instruction given to select alternates as shown by 3 of the 5 board members not selecting alternates as shown on the attached sheet. Typically, alternates would be selected that receive votes for the top 9 candidates after the initial committee selection is complete, and not by a minority of the board. There was no collaboration after the top 9 votes were submitted. Rather, the BOA board members were dictated in some cases rather than discussed. Although Mr. Erkeline clearly stated he wished to take a passive role, not an active role, in the committee, his wishes were either ignored or simply other board members failed to read his application, which is attached. I agree that with Mr. Erkeline that his plate is full, being the chair of the Zoning Advisory Committee, and the role of alternate is a better position for him on this committee. We should abide by his request and make someone else an active member on the committee. In addition, one of the alternates selected received 1 out of the 45 votes the board made for their top 9 candidates, yet was selected as an alternate when other candidates received 2 votes. This is not logical or rational. Therefore, I'm left with the conclusion that those candidates, even though vastly more qualified, were purposely ignored due to personal issues and/or partisan politics. Despite this, for some of the candidates, there was consensus. And for one candidate, a majority that didn't fall squarely on partisan lines. However, it has become clear to me that the whole purpose of not using the established committee selection policy was to keep certain candidates off the committee, which denies the public the representation they requested when they elected all 5 board members, not just the political majority. Given the fact that established committee policy was circumvented, and so far no discussion has occurred to address the issues I have brought to attention, I will abstain from voting on this motion before the board to appoint the BOA committee members. Lastly, I'd like to convey my appreciation to all the residents that applied for the BOA committee. I'm done.
All right, I also have a statement which I'll send in afterwards. 3 of the trustees changed the committee nomination procedure, one that gave all board members equal say in the process, to one that allowed the 3 of you to dictate along partisan lines. Your politically motivated change in the nominating process did not result in a more qualified committee than would have been achieved if the original standing policy had been followed. Specifically, if Sean and I had equal opportunity to appoint members, Liz Cormos and Gary Stevenson would be on the committee. They are 2 of the most qualified people for work on the BOA in the entire village. Liz has years of community planning and development experience, as well as municipal governance experience and a long volunteer record. And Mr. Stevenson brings the important perspective of the Historic District Commission, which is probably why you didn't want him on the committee. Furthermore, you never offered the board the opportunity to identify alternate members. You just dictated those to us. Illogically, there's someone on there who only 1 board member nominated to be on the committee versus Liz and Gary nominated by 2 board members. I'm going to vote no on this motion, not because I object to who is on the committee for the most part, but because of who is left off and the way you block them from joining.
Anything else?
I just want to say that I am looking forward to the folks that are being nominated today. I'm really excited by the variety of folks that put their names in, many of whom have never been on a committee before, so I'm really excited about that to make sure that they're engaged, and we're looking forward to start working. So.
No, I'm with Bernadette. They're well-rounded. There's some that have environmental degrees. I think everyone is going to be concerned with maintaining the proper historical feel. Everyone has been in this village for a while, and it means a lot to them. And I don't think anyone's going to try to change our village and its historicalness. Right.
We'll roll with it.
Historical.
All you want. Okay, we'll go roll call. Trustee Raymond?
Abstain.
Trustee Baskin?
No.
Trustee Medina?
Yes.
Trustee Price Bush?
Yes.
And Mayor Rossi votes yes, as it was for purposes of vote 2-2, 4 by vote, so this tiebreaker 3-2, and the motion carries. Can I get a motion to adjourn at 6:47 p.m.?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Fandesa.
Second.
Trustee Price-Bush, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. See everybody on 28th, I believe, correct? Is that the next one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
28th.
and hopefully up the hill now. Hopefully some-
Oh, yeah, where are we gonna be? The library?
No, it's at the,
She's saying about the next meeting.
Up
the
there,
workshop, the workshop.
Oh, there, yeah. Where's the next village board meeting?
If we can do the library still, we'll do the library. I'm not so sure we can though. So
Oh, yeah, that's
Sorry
the
to
question.
throw confusion. My brain is
you will
about
have to know on a
that.
case-by-case basis what we're doing with that.
My statement? I don't know who takes
Yeah,
it.
you want to
Well,
do
I'll
the
put it in
mayor?
Terry's
Yeah.
I'll email it in.